So good evening everyone. I am Riya Tapwal doing PhD under the supervision of Professor Sudeep Mishra at IIT Kharagpur in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today I am going to discuss the topics of week 6 and after that I am going to solve the questions of assignment of week 6. But before that I am going to discuss few topics of week 2 and few topics of week 4 as you have asked me to do that in last week. So yeah, this is the topic of week second, and in week second we have discussed about the various protocols that we used in IoT communication. So the protocols which we used in IoT communication are divided into various categories on the basis of their functionalities. So the various categories are protocols can be your connectivity protocol, identification protocol, your communication protocol, discovery protocol, data protocol, device management protocol, semantic protocol, and multi-layer framework protocol. So first of all, your connectivity protocol. So these are the protocols which are helpful in establishing the connection between your two IoT devices. So the example of your connectivity protocols can be your 6LoWPAN, RPL. Further, second one is your identification protocol. See, there are different millions of devices, IoT devices present in your IoT network. So in order to identify those devices, we need some protocols. So the protocols which helps to check the identity of user are called your identification protocols. So identity can be checked with the help of your ID, password, your private key, right? So these are your identification protocol. Example of your identification protocols are EPC, UCode, IPv6, URLs, etc. Wait, someone is trying to enter. Then third category is your communication protocol. So communication protocol are the type of protocol which helps in the communication of two IoT devices. For example, your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LPWAN, these are your communication protocol. Then your discovery protocol. There are different types of services which are available. So in order to identify or in order to discover those services, there are some protocols which we use, and these protocols are called discovery protocols. The examples of discovery protocols are physical web, MDNS, DNS-SD. Then next one is data protocol. So this data protocol enables the devices to exchange information. The data protocol also tells that how your data is that how we send your data, that which kind of packets or in which form we are going to transmit your data. Example are your MQTT, COAP, AMQP, WebSocket, Node, etc. Then next one is device management protocol. As I have already told that there are various devices in your IoT environment. So in order to manage those devices, we need some protocols which are responsible for updating their location, for diagnosing them, for their error controlling, right? So these protocols which are responsible for the management of your devices are called your device management protocol. Example are TR069, OMA, DM. Next one is your semantic protocol. Semantic protocol regulates the application related aspects of communicating IT system. Example are JSON LD, WebThing model. And last type is your multi-layer framework. So these type of protocol does not lie in a single layer. However, these protocols spread across various layers of your protocol stack. So these are your multi-layer framework protocols. Now we will discuss some of these protocols here. First one is your MQTT. So MQTT is your data protocol which tells that how we are going to transmit or how we are going to send your data. So it is based on your public subscribe model. So in case of your public subscribe model, there is one publisher, other one is your subscriber, and there is one intermediate device which is called your broker. So your publisher is going to publish the services or data to your broker, and further the subscriber who want to access the data will subscribe the data from the broker. So these are the three main components of your MQTT protocol. First one is your publisher, second one is your broker, and third one is your subscriber. Basically your publisher and subscribers are nothing but IoT devices, or these can be clients or server, anything. So the one device which is sending data is called your publisher, and the devices which are accessing those data are called your subscriber. Next one is your COAP. So COAP stands for Constrained Application Protocol. It is also a data protocol, and there are various types of messages that we use in your COAP protocol. That is your conformable message, non-conformable message, piggybacking, and last one is your separate. So now I'll tell you that what these different types of messages are. So first one is your conformable. As the name suggests, that we are getting some confirmation if we send some data, or if we are sending some if we are requesting for some connection. So in case of your conformable message types, your client is requesting your server for establishing connection, and in response to that your server is going to acknowledge your client. Next one is non-conformable. In this, as the name suggests, your server is not going to confirm your client. Your server is not going to send confirmation to your client. So in this case, your client is just sending your data or message to your server. However, your client is not getting any kind of confirmation from the server regarding the message. Now next type is piggybacking. Piggybacking means along with your acknowledgement you are sending data also. So initially client will send the request message, that is your connection establishment message, to your server, and further the server will send acknowledgement message to your client that connection has been established, and along with that acknowledgement message only it is sending the data also. And next one is your separate. In case of your separate type of messages, your acknowledgement and data is sent separately. Initially connection will be established, then acknowledgement for the same is received by the client. After that there is some delay, both the client and server will wait for some time, and after that your server will send the data to your client, and then client will send acknowledgement to the server that he has received the data. Next type of protocol is your AMQP. So AMQP stands for Advanced Message Queuing Protocol. It is an open standard for passing business messages between different applications and organizations. It connects various systems and businesses processes. For example, you can see in the diagram that there are various clients at the sender side, and there are various clients at the receiver side also. So client are going to publish their data to the server, similar to your publish subscribe model. However, in case of your publish subscribe model, there is only single broker in between. However, in this case there is no single broker. There can be multiple brokers. So your clients are going to publish your data to multiple brokers depending upon the need, and these brokers or servers are going to store your data into the queues and further forward the data to the clients which are going to request for that particular data. Now the applications of your AMQP protocol. Your AMQP protocol is helpful in monitoring and global update sharing. It is also helpful in connecting different systems and processes to talk to each other. It allows servers to respond to immediate requests quickly and delegate time-consuming tasks for later processing. It helps in distributing a message to multiple recipients for consumption. Next one is it enable offline client to fetch data at the later time. This is because in case of your AMQP, the data is stored in queues, right? So you can fetch the data from there, from the queues whenever at the later time also. Next one is introducing fully asynchronous functionality for the system. And last application is increasing the reliability and uptime of application deployment. These all functions are responsible with the help of with the use of queue that your brokers are using in between. Next one is your XMPP. So XMPP stand for your Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol. It is a communication protocol for message oriented middleware that is based on your XML language, that is your extensible markup language. It helps in real time exchange of your structured data. It is open standard. In this, no central server is present. However, there are various servers which are decentralized, and those servers are going to control all the exchange of information that is taking place. Further, there are no royalties and granted permission required to implement your XMPP protocol. It provides security with the help of encryption and authentication. And last one is it is flexible and it supports interoperability. Now your IEEE 802.15.4. So your IEEE 802.15.4 is a standard for your low data rate WPAN. Basically, the difference lies only in the last two layers, that is your physical layer and data link layer. Actually, not in the physical layer. Physical layer is also present in your IEEE 802.15.4. However, in your data link layer, the difference is present. In case of your OSI model, your data link layer is divided only into two categories, that is your MAC and your LLC, that is your logical link control. However, in case of your IEEE 802.15.4, your data link layer is divided into three parts, three components, that is your MAC, next one is your CS, and last one is your LLC. So the functionality of MAC and LLC is same as in your OSI model. However, your SSCS is responsible for providing the services to your devices. Next one is your Zigbee. Zigbee is a communication protocol which is most widely deployed enhancement of your IEEE 802.15.4. It is a layer 3 and above protocol which works with your 802.15.4 layer 1 and layer 2. The standard uses layer 3 and layer 4 to define additional communication enhancement. Further, these are the different types of topologies that your Zigbee supports. First one is your star topology, second one is your cluster tree topology, and third one is your mesh topology. So in case of your star topology, the devices are connected to each other in the form of star, where there is one coordinator and all the other devices are connected to that particular coordinator. Next one is your cluster tree topology. In case of your cluster tree topology, there are various stars. So in cluster tree, the devices are connected to router, and further those router are connected to your coordinator device, which is going to coordinate, which is going to help in the which is going to provide coordination between these different devices. And last one is your mesh topology. So in case of your mesh topology, any device can be connected to any other device. So any end device can be connected to any router and further to your coordinator device. Now 6LoWPAN. So this is a protocol which stands for Lower Power Wireless Personal Area Network over IPv6. It allows the smallest devices with limited processing ability to transmit information wirelessly using internet protocols. It allows lower power devices to connect to the internet. Further, it allows IEEE 802.15.4 radios to carry 128-bit addresses of internet protocol version 6. See, these are the features which you have to learn actually, because what are the functionalities provided by a particular protocol. You have to learn that what kind of messages these protocols can send, what are the different features these can support. So these you have to learn. Next one is your RFID. So RFID is an acronym which is used for your radio frequency identification. RFID protocol is used in order to establish connection between your RFID tag and your RFID reader. So basic functionality that how your these RFID reader and RFID tags are going to work is based on your magnetic field generation. So basically your RFID reader, when electrical current pass through your RFID reader, some magnetic fields will generate, right? So these magnetic fields interact with the magnetic field which is present over your RFID tag, and the interaction between those magnetic field is responsible for the transmission of data which is present over your RFID tag to your RFID reader. Further, there can be two types of RFID tags. One is your passive and other one is your active. I have already told you the difference between your active tags and your passive tags. So you can go through those slides. Yeah. The next topic which I was supposed to tell you is information theoretic self-management of your wireless sensor networks. So as the name suggests that according to the information or data which we are getting, your wireless sensor network are going to make changes or adapt according to the requirement of the data. So this means the nodes in the network adapt themselves with the changes in the environment and to select an appropriate transmission rate. What is written over here is that according to the changes which happen in your environment, your wireless sensor networks are going to make changes in your transmission rate. So this is the diagram showing the same thing, and if you want to know more about this thing, this is the paper, a research paper, you can go through this paper. Yeah. Next one is your optimality condition. So optimality conditions is a topic which is under your coverage, that how to place your sensor nodes so that whole area is covered properly, right? Now optimality conditions will tell the condition that how your sensor nodes will be placed such that there should be no dead zone, that there should be no area where your signal is not present, that there should be no area that your sensor is not going to sense. And second thing is how to place the sensor such that that we require minimum number of sensors, right? So first condition is if node A and B are fixed, then we need to place node C. Then how we can place node C? So we can place node C in such a way that your OR should be equal to your OQ. Okay. Now consider a situation that all the three nodes are changing their location. It means these are not stable, these are not static, however these are mobile. Then what can be the condition, that the optimal condition? Now the optimal condition will be the intersection areas between all the three nodes, the sensing range of the intersection area should be equal. That is, your OP should be equal to your OR, and that should further be equal to your OQ. Now third condition is that if the sensing range or sensing range area of all the three sensor nodes is equal. See, in this diagram the sensing area is different for all the three nodes, but what happen if the sensing area or the range of particular sensor, all the three sensors are same? Then the distance between them should be under root 3 into RS. RS is the radius of the that your sensing range. Now, based on these optimality condition, there is one protocol which will decide that how to place your sensor nodes so that a whole area is covered and minimum number of sensors are required to cover that particular area. So, the name of the algorithm is your optimal geographical density control. So in case of your optimal geographical density control, what will happen is a particular sensor node voluntarily broadcast a message. Yeah, actually, it will wait all the nodes which are present in that particular field, wait for a particular amount of time. If no one is sending any kind of message, then any node can send a broadcast message telling that I am the starting node and I am going to start the process. Once it is done, then the node which is at the distance of under root 3 into rs will receive the message. Then that particular node get active, and further on the same process take place for the other nodes also. For example, I'll show you in the next slide. Yeah, this is the starting node, that how to select the starting node. So starting node can be any node that voluntarily participate with probability p. All the nodes chooses back of time. Back of time is the time for which all the nodes are waiting for the other nodes to send messages. So if those nodes are not hearing anything from the neighbors, then the particular node will declare itself as the starting node. And further, whenever it declare itself as a starting node, it declare its position as well as the preferred direction, that in which direction it is going to send the message, right? For example, here this is your starting node, then it is sending message in this direction. So the angle of elevation will be calculated, and according to that the direction can be calculated. Now on receiving this broadcast message, this particular node will get active. Once it will get active, it will again send the message telling its location and further its angle of elevation, that particular direction in which it is sending the message. Now this process will continue. So for a particular sensor node, if the area is covered by other sensor node, then it will turn off and go to sleep mode. And if the area is not covered by other nodes, then it will continue sensing the particular area. Yeah. Now this is the topic of your week 6. Here we will learn about Python, that what is Python, why we should know Python, and further we will learn about the IDE on which we can run our programs. So why we have to learn Python? So first point is, Python is a versatile language which is easy to script and easy to read. It does not support strict rules for syntax. For example, in case of your C and C programming, C++ programming language, there are strict syntax rules. However, in case of your Python language, there are no as such strict syntax rules. Further, its installation process comes with integrated development environment for programming. It supports interfacing with wide range of hardware platform, and it is open source. It forms a strong backbone to build your large application. Now, what is your Python IDE? Python IDE is a free and open source software that is used to write your codes or integrate several modules and libraries. It is available for installation into PCs with Windows, Linux, Mac, any operating system you want to use. There are various examples of your Python IDE, such as your Spider, PyCharm, etc. Yeah. Now the data types in Python. Basically, there are 5 data types in your Python. First one is your number. So in case of your number, all the data types such as your character, integer, float, all those comes under your number. Second one is your string. As the name suggests, it is the collection of your character types. For example, here you have declared a string x. In x, it is written as this is a Python. So whenever you write that print x, then a particular string will be written. Now as I said that it is a collection of your character types or array of your character types. So if you want to print a particular character, then you can use your concepts of array. For example, here it is written that print x 0. It means the character which is present at your 0th location, then t will be printed. Now it is your multi-dimensional array, that it means that we need to print your x to 4, then it will be printed as your is. Now next data type is your list. So list is a collection of elements which is stored in a single variable. For example, here we have stored 10.2 Python in your single variable, that is your x. Now tuple is also a collection of various elements, but the difference between your list and tuple is that your list can be changed, it is changeable. However, your tuple is non-changeable. It means that your tuple is immutable. Once you declare any element in your tuple, you cannot change that. Next one is your dictionary. Dictionary is also a collection of your element, but in case of your dictionary, with every element there is some ID provided. For example, for your item, IDs, ID or indexing, anything you call, 1 is provided, for 2 it is your K, right? Now controlling statement. So similar to your C and C++ language, in your Python, the if and else statement is there. But the way you write in your C language and C++ language, the way of writing is different. For example, here you can see, in case of your C language, you write else if. However, in case of your Python, you write ELIF. And further, after writing your condition, you have to write colon. And one more thing, your Python is strictly strictly follow indentation, right? So there should be proper gapping between your if statement and the statement which you are going to define between your if and else. Now the loops. So while and for loops are present in your Python language. Same concept, inside while you have to write the condition, and after that you have to write colon, and inside your loop you are going to write the statements which you want to print in the loop. Next one is your for loop. So here the syntax of using your for loop is for I in x. See, we have generated a list x which contain 4 elements, that is your 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if we want to print these elements, if we want to run the loop for 4 times, right, because there are 4 elements in your this list, so we are using this element I, this is your variable. So we are running your variable I until the size of your x, and inside your for loop you are going to write the statements which you want your program to perform. Next one is your break. The concept of your break is similar as you use in your C language. So whenever a particular statement is correct, you are going to the break statement will get the control out of that particular module. For example, here it is written that if s is equal to n, it means whenever your s will come to n, then it will break, and after that it will come out of that loop. It means that this module is going to print until your stri. However, when it is n, your control will come out of your loop. Next one is continue. Same concept as in your C language. Continue will skip that particular statement or particular condition. For example, here it is written that s is equal to y, but since here is no y, then it will print a whole string. But consider a case that if s is equal to n, then what should be the output of this module? Then the output will be strig, because it is going to skip the condition whenever s is equal to your n. Now functions in Python. So the concept of functions is again same. You have to declare your function. After that you have to use colon. Inside your function you have to give the definition of your function, that what your function is going to do, and after that you can call your function in your program whenever you want to. For example, here we have defined a function that is your greater, which is taking two parameters x and y. So if your x is greater than y, then your function is going to return x comma y, means it is going to return two variable instead of one. And if your y is greater than x, then it is going to return y comma x. So for example, here we have called your function greater with 10 and 100. Now x is your 10 and y is your 100, right? Now your x is not greater than y, else condition is true. So what will be returned? It will return 100 comma 10. So your value will be 100 comma 10. Now variable scopes in Python. So there can be two types of variable that we can declare in your Python language. First one is your global variables and second one is your local variable. So global variable, the scope of your global variable is your complete program. So if you declare any variable globally, you can use that particular variable in your whole program. However, if you declare your variable locally, that is inside in any function, that then the scope of that particular variable will lie in that particular function only. You cannot use that variable outside that function. Now modules in Python. So any segment of code fulfilling a particular task that can be used commonly by everyone is termed as module. For example, your random. So this random is a module. So in order to use this module, we have to firstly import this module, and further we can use this module as per our requirement. For example, here we are we have import a random module, and further we have used a loop that is for I in range 1 to 10. And further we have called a function of your random module, that is 1 to 10, and then print value. So what this segment of code will print? This will print the random variables that are generated between your 1 to 10. Now here I have written that output will varies with each execution, because every time when we execute this code, your code is going to generate different random numbers that are between your 1 to 10. Now exception handling. So the concept of exception handling in Python is same as in your C and C++ language. The particular segment of code in which you are finding, or you in which there are chances of getting error, that particular segment of code you are going to write in your try, and and whenever you are going to whenever your code is going to generate some error, then this we can handle with the help of your except statement. And if there is no error, then in else statement other statements can run. Now file read and write operation. Similar to your C programming language, we can read and write files in your Python language also. We don't need any separate module or library in order to perform various operations on your files. So in order to read and write files, there are three basic steps. First one, you have to open that particular file. Then you have to choose the mode in which you want to operate on your file, whether you want to write on that file or whether you want to read that file. And once your operation is done, you have to close the file. Now in order to open the file, the function open is used. In the open function, you have to write the name of the file which you want to open, and further the mode in which you want to open your file. So there are four modes in Python in which you can open your file. First one is read mode. So if you want to read your file, you have to mention in your open function in place of mode as R. If you want to write, then you have to mention here W. If you want to append, if you want to open your file in append mode, then you have to write here A. And if you want to open your file in both as read and write mode, then you have to written here as R plus. Now in order to read your file, there is a function called read. You can use this function. In order to write, you can use write function. And at last, as I have told, that once your operation is done, you have to close your file. So in order to close your file, you have to use the function as close. Now using with to open a file. So in order to handle the exceptions in your files or read write operation of files, your with is used. So this is the syntax of using your with to open your file. Now networking Python. This part I have already told you when I have covered your client server architecture and your socket programming. So this I am skipping for now. Now Raspberry Pis. So what is Raspberry Pi? Raspberry Pi is a computer in your palm. It means that it is a computer of very small size. So the size is just a single board. And it is very low cost and it is easy to access. So these are the various features of different types of Raspberry Pis which are present in your market. Raspberry Pi 3, 2, Raspberry Pi 0. Now Raspberry Pi 4 is also available in market. So you can go through these features. Yeah. Now to start, this is the picture of your Raspberry Pi. These are the various programs and various programming languages that your Raspberry Pi can support. You can run your Python, you can use Scratch, and these are the programs which are compatible with your Raspberry Pi. Now how to set up your Raspberry Pi. You need an HDMI cable to connect your Raspberry Pi to your monitor, to your screen. You need a monitor where you can visualize your data, your keyboard in order to give inputs, your mouse to give inputs. Further, Raspberry Pi works on your 5-volt power supply. Then you need a LAN cable in order to give some networking to that, and your micro SD card. In order to provide some storage external to your Raspberry Pi, we need SD card. Further, these are the various languages or default programs that are installed in your Raspberry Pi. This I have already shown you in the previous image, that Python, C, C++, Java, Scratch, Ruby, all these are default installed in your Raspberry Pi. Now these are the official operating system, Raspbian Pi and Noops, which are for your Raspberry Pi, and there are some third-party operating system available in the market that can be your Ubuntu Mate, Snappy Ubuntu Core, Windows 10 Core, Pinet, RISC OS. Now the applications. So you can use your Raspberry Pi in order to get data from your sensors and give your output to your actuator and perform any kind of your IoT related application with the help of your Raspberry Pi. For example, here in the videos of your NPTEL, you have used your Raspberry Pi in order to generate a temperature controller. So for that they have used a DHT sensor, a resistor, relay, jumper wires, a Raspberry Pi and a mini fan. So what this apparatus is doing, your DHT sensor is getting your temperature value, and if the temperature is getting high, then it is making your mini fan on. Now the questions. So first question is what is the output for the following piece of code, Python code. Here list is given. Your x is equal to 32. Now character u, character I, 8, and character you can consider this as character or string 34. Now x is equal to x, array 0 colon. Now print x. So what will be the output? Anyone? These are
Option D, madam.
option
D.
D or B?
D, madam.
D. Yeah, right. Can you please explain also that why option D is correct?
In list indexing, start in the end index by default is last one, madam. So we are given the start index. So from 32 till the end will be printed, madam.
Yeah, right.
So option D.
Yeah, right. Or you can also explain as, because this is similar to your multi-dimensional array, right? So 0 means your row 1. However, columns are all, because after column we have not mentioned anything. So we are going to consider all the columns. So all the columns mean 32, U, I, 8, 34. So option D is correct. Next question is, how many GPIO, that is general purpose input output pins, are available in your Raspberry Pi 4? Options are 30, 14, 40, 41. Anyone?
14.
14.
14, ma'am.
14.
Are you
1 4.
sure?
1 4, ma'am.
That is for Arduino IDs. Raspberry Pi 4. Have anyone used Raspberry Pi 4? Okay. Option is 40. 40. Next one is, which of the following is not an example of Python IDE? Options are Sublime Text, second one is
Sublime text.
A. Sublime text.
Option A, ma'am.
Sublime text.
you cannot use Sublime Text for your Python. Check the option once again. No?
A, ma'am.
No, correct option
Option.
is option C, because spider is SPY, not SPI.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Fourth question is, what is the value of x in the following expression in Python programming? X is equal to 3. I'll not tell the name of this operator, otherwise you will get 3 operator 3. Now what will the correct option? 0, 9, -2 will raise an exception. First
Yeah,
of all,
madam.
tell me that what is the name of this operator, and then tell me the correct option.
XOR, ma'am. So the answer is 0, ma'am.
Yeah, right. And when XOR operation is going to generate 0?
When
If
both
both elements are same.
Yeah, right. Question number 5 is, in Python programming, which of the following is null statement? Pass, continue, break, skip.
pass, ma'am.
Pass.
Right, right.
Pass, ma'am.
Yeah. Next question is, which of the following is an unordered data type in Python? Options are list, dictionary, both list and dictionary. Last one is tuple. Anyone?
Dictionary.
What?
Dictionary.
Dictionary.
Dictionary is ordered collection.
Anyone else? Right option is dictionary only, because your list and tuple both are your ordered, right? In case of your dictionary, the elements can be unordered, because indexing is present with your elements, right? So it can be in any order. Next one is what is the value of x in the following expression. So what will be the output? Calculate. Anyone?
11.
11. And how you solve this?
Eight XOR 3, ma'am.
Yeah, right. Initially this is 2 raised to power 3 and this is 3 raised to power 1. So 2 raised to power 3 is 8 and this is 3. Then 8 XOR 3 is your 11. Next one is which of the following symbol is used to comment out multiple lines at once in Python? Anyone?
Percentage.
What?
Percentage. Percentage. C.
Anyone else?
None
None
of
of
this.
these, ma'am.
Right, right.
None of
In
these.
case of your Python, there are no way to comment out your multiple lines. And what is the symbol used to comment your single line? Anyone? How to comment out your single line in your Python?
Yes, ma'am.
As
Ash.
Hash.
Next question is with onboard Raspberry Pi camera, which one of the following is not correct for image related operations in Python? So if you want to perform any image related operation in Python with the help of your onboard Raspberry Pi camera, then which of the following is correct? Anyone? No? The correct statement, I guess. No, here it will be it is not correct. Then all the three statement, that is your A, B, C, all those are not correct, because the correct statement in order to use your onboard Raspberry Pi camera is from Pi camera import Pi camera. So here your from Pi camera, it should be in your small letters. However, in case of this side, your Pi should be capital and camera ka C should be capital. Okay. Now next question, which of the following bit processor is used in Raspberry Pi 0 to W? Options are 64, 32,
32-bit, ma'am.
32 bit.
32-bit.
It's 64. For that I have given one table. You can go through those and you can check various features of your different Raspberry Pis. Now, which of the following shortcut exits the nano editor? Control plus E, Control plus O, Control plus X, none of these.
option C, ma'am.
Control X. Yeah, it's right. And if you want to write the code to a file, then Control plus O can be used. Now question number 12. Which of the following syntax is correct for networking in Python? This topic I have covered, I guess, previous week or a week before. I don't remember actually. So which of the following is a correct option? Anyone? Okay, so if you want to send your data through your TCP, then how you are going to write, how you are going to create your socket? Okay, leave it. And okay, there are three types of sockets. Can you please name them? No? Okay. So the names are stream, Stream is for your TCP. Then second one is your datagram. So in order to write your datagram, you have to write DG RAM. And third one is your raw. So out of these option, your second one is correct because this is for your UDP. However, it can be correct if there will be E here. If it is written sock stream, but E is missing, therefore this is incorrect. And TCP and UDP are not mentioned. In order to use your TCP, you are going to use stream, and in order to use your UDP, you are going to use your DG RAM. Now question number 13, which of the following is correct to open a text file for in write mode? Options are open, name of text, name of file, and mode is W plus W, W plus O plus W.
Yeah, ma'am. Option.
Yeah, option A. Now question number 14, which of the following is an immutable data type in Python? Options are string, tuple, bool, all of these.
Tuple.
Tuple I have already told you, but are you sure about bool and string? All of these is the answer.
All of this, ma'am.
Yeah, all string, tuple, boolean. Actually, these int, float, bool, string, Unicode, tuple, all these are your immutable. Now question number 15. Does Python follow rigid indentation? Yes, no, not applicable. Anyone? This one is very easy. And I have also told you when I was telling about you control statement.
Ma'am, Python language follows indentation, ma'am.
So it follows rigid indentation. So it is yes. Okay. Okay, so it's 6:55. So any topic that you want me to cover in next class?
Ma'am, can you tell about Raspberry Pi specifications and pin configuration?
Different. I have given you one table and you can go through them, and according to those specification, I'll show you once again. You can decide that which Raspberry Pi you want to use.
Okay, ma'am. And
I'll show you once again. You can go through the table because these things you this will be difficult to learn. I know, but I'll show you. Yeah, these are the specification, these are the features. For example, for your Raspberry Pi 3, your RAM is 1 GB. SD RAM for your Raspberry Pi 2 also it is 1 GB SD RAM. For your Raspberry Pi 0 it is 512. Right? So you can go through
yes,
this
ma'am.
table.
Okay, ma'am.
Any topic that you want me to cover in next class, and please tell me topic, don't ask me to cover a whole week, because last time one of you said ki week 2, so it will be difficult for me to cover 2 weeks topics in single 1 hour, right? I have to also give you questions. So any topic? Presentation was not visible in between.
It's visible.
One of you has message sent chat. Okay.
Ma'am, it was visible, ma'am, by
It was
mistake.
visible. Okay, fine. If you face some difficulty, then please unmute yourself and ask, because it is difficult for me to read your messages, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Any question or any topic that you want me to cover? No? Okay, then I am closing this session. Okay.